Live. We may be live, I'm not sure.
We are live.
Jim, do you think we're live?
VIN.
This is a thing that we need to check every week now. If you're in the chat and you can hear everyone's microphone, please let us know, because we don't know what's going to happen.
But we do. We kind of do, actually.
We know that mine will be working for sure.
I mean... This is true.
This is a thing. So it's the rest of them.
Someone did a thing.
That was me. I moved my mic. Sorry.
I mean, that's fine. We're waiting for a response from the people, the live people.
Well, you know.
I'm just enthralled with Jim's smoke going on over here.
I know. I probably should have did that. Because I can't smoke in the house.
So I can see by the outputs that everything is working. So
I mean, are you sure?
Let's fake it.
Are you sure everything is working?
So bleeding mascara says I can hear you.
Bleeding mascara?
What? I can't read. I'm fucking old.
Oh, no, that's exactly what it is. Kudos.
It's as far away as I sit from that monitor. I'm lucky to be able to tell that there's words on that screen.
Well, they can hear us, so goddamn it, let's do the goddamn thing. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Here we go. Take one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the fucking show. We are Destiny Unfiltered, or Unfiltered for short, but if you're not in, to the whole whatever. Bygones. I'm man at arms still because lack of gamer tag options. With me always, the large shiny thing in the middle of your screen.
Bottom.
Is Ryan's head. Whatever. They can't see the bottom anyway. Actually on stream it's not nearly as bright as what it is to me. This is fine. And with us, returning cast member, good friend, metalhead, beard challenged only by that of Beard Grizzly, and it's a dead heat.
I don't know.
GrindheadJim.
Jim's beard game.
I had mine first.
I think Jim's beard game is just a little bit more solid than Beard Grizzly's.
It's better groomed. I mean,
it's not always.
The whole thing is just
is that.
I don't know. The whole package is just a little bit nicer.
We're converting one warlock at a time over to Titan.
Yeah, fuck you, Jim. That's the end of the show.
I still can't believe that he's doing that. Like, he started off as Titan, and then once he hit Warlock, he was like, I'm never going back. And then, fast forward, 4-5 years later, all of a sudden he's like, no, I like Titan. I'm like, because knowing him as I do, his persona, the way he plays in game, the way he thinks in game, in many ways, like, he informed when I would play Warlock the way I would play Warlock, because I play super aggressive, which is why I main Titan. And he's always played super aggressive. I'm like, why don't you just play Titan? He's like, well, Warlock makes more sense for lore, and I like the
aesthetically.
And he's not wrong. It makes more sense for him as a person, I think. But his play style's definitely like leans into that aggressive Titan stuff. So the fact that he's into this from a playing perspective, it doesn't surprise me at all because I've seen it firsthand for years. But it was still a surprise, albeit a pleasurable one.
And this
Quite,
is
quite pleasured by
Did he
the
play a
surprise.
lot of self-res Warlock in D1?
Yeah, fuck no.
Just void slinging left and right.
He was a void boy. Well, actually, no, I take that back. Until Taken King, he was, and then he would switch hit. But he mained arc actually. He mained arc during Tickle Fingers, because he could clear rooms like you wouldn't believe. Like take the best room clearing arc warlock you can think of, and then multiply that by a factor of 5 or 10. The guy was that good. In Crucible, he was always like really proficient and stuff, but he was one of those dudes that you would never want to go against. He was, and if you're working on some kind of kills, you don't want him on your fire team because he's not only is he so good, he gets there first, and he just would wipe a room up. Like, dude, I wanted that. I'm sorry. He's not doing it to be a dick. He's just been good,
But he was there.
Exactly. When he quit Destiny for a very brief period of time before, I think it was Taken King. Yeah, it was before Taken King. This is before content creation, any of it. What I was able to entice him back to the game with, the Nerwin's Mercy, the God roll with like a shitload of stability being the weapon for Iron Banner that particular week. And I says, dude, I know you have no one to play the game, but I know you would want this weapon if you ever did return. Want you come back, get this weapon, and then you can quit, just in case. And sure enough, he came back, got the weapon. By the end of the week, he was like, "I'll come back on a trial basis." And the next thing you know, he comes along, he starts doing content. The rest is history, all because of a pulse rifle.
And this is why Beard Grizzly will never be back on the show.
Pulse rifles?
Warlock conversion to Titan.
I mean, dude, he pulse rifles. Yeah, I can't go with that.
Bro, the Titan thing's not gonna last.
No, I'm teasing. Beard is one of those cats that if he called up tomorrow and said, "Hey, I want back on for whatever reason," because he's into self-torture. He absolutely. It was totally a joke. Just it landed flat.
No, I get it.
I'm still hung up on pulse rifles.
Yeah, that kind of fucked me up, but.
Like because you like being hit by them, or you don't like using them?
I don't like using them. That's a personal thing, though. I mean, I get that they work. I acknowledge them as a viable thing.
I don't either. I didn't either until I got my hands on Vigilance Wing, and then I used that to grind out for Redrix, and during that I got the Catalyst for Vigilance Wing, and then it's like ground out both at the same time. And by the end of it, I felt pretty good with it. And then when I got the Outbreak perfected, it was just like boom.
So, Jim, I'm going to ask you.
They're not my go-to.
I'm going to ask you a really weird question, but follow me here for a second, all right? Have you ever picked up a gun, and it's a good gun, but you just don't like using it because it takes up too much of your screen? Like it's hard to, like in detail, like it's hard to, for whatever reason, wrap your head around it when you're looking at it visually, and it's just blocking too much. So you're standing back here, and VigiWing is so big that it's blocking.
VigiWing is big,
and when you're zoomed out, I have actually legitimately missed people running because it's taking up so much of your sight line.
There's an ornament that makes that a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that was my turn off to the gun. I love the gun, but that was my turn off was just when it was first a thing and it first got that gun, it was just very difficult. The way that I play and look at the screen and everything, it was just very difficult for me to like be able to focus and use that gun correctly. And I think it was because of the size and the amount of real estate that it took up.
That's actually the only pulse I really enjoyed. Yeah, but no, go ahead. Sorry.
Like Rick was saying, fiddle with the ornaments, and it should be a bit easier visually. But in terms of weapons that I just cannot wrap my head around visually, that it's because of the way that they handle or they look all time using. I got two of them, Darcy and Legend of Acreus. They don't feel right. It's not necessarily a visual thing, but maybe it's a hand-eye coordination thing because Acreus is such a beast. Make a lot of sense to me for the relatively limited amount of DPS you're going to get out of it.
I'd rather carry a toaster.
No.
Yeah. What of it?
And the thing is, I'm one of those guys that once I get a few, I got a handful put out, like maybe 3, 4 tops that I really like in different activities, and anything that takes me out of that, I really rail against. It's a feel thing,
I don't like bygones. And what's the other one?
Bygone's a great weapon, but again, like you say, it just doesn't quite feel right in my hand.
Right side of wrong, I think's the other one. It's basically the same gun in the energy slot. Like they work. Don't get me wrong. Right. I acknowledge that. I have a god roll in each one. I don't like them. I don't like to use them. Can I use them in a fight and fight with them? Yeah, pretty well. But it's just like I don't like playing that way.
Right.
I'd much rather miss with a hand cannon. I'm a stupid person though. I mean, that's just me.
Yeah, I used to love doing like a shotgun auto rifle loadout in Crucible, but auto rifles being the place that they're in, they don't hit as hard as they need to. Especially when you consider that the auto rifle selections in the energy slot are so abysmal. Unless I'm doing something specific with damage type, I always have like a kinetic. I always have a Dust Rock Blues with like the most range you can get on that weapon, and I'm happy with it.
I know.
That's what fell into trust for.
I actually dismantled mine on accident a while back because I drink. But this is fine. These things happen. But if you can get a Feist auto rifle with high caliber rounds, it's fun. It's really fun.
Then
You cut out like what is it, the
Valkyrie?
Yeah, Valkyrie, or there's another one like is it Perseverance or something like that, and then there was an old Iron Banner one that actually had it but like no range. Okay. But I've genuinely just run around and just hip fired people into oblivion with it because it's like 900 rounds a minute or something. They just get flinched out. It's ridiculous. And they don't have to recover because it's just like, oh god, and it's too late. It's too late. You don't have to aim for the head, but you only need the body shots. So if you can get one, I highly recommend it. Nobody's looking for it.
And that's the thing. I think that's honestly what the new meta is. Whether but regardless of what you may say about what weapons are used the most, I think the preferred meta for a lot of people is to find stuff that's unexpected, so they can counter things that they know are going to be there. So it's almost like there's always a counter meta now, where there wasn't always one available in Destiny before, and over the last year we've kind of seen that. You'll see a meta arise, and then a lot of people kind of counter what we know is going to be there. How are we prepared for those scenarios, and how do you get around it? I think that there are more options now than there ever have been in PvP. To a positive, it just there's certain weapon types that aren't viable at all. If you're taking it any seriously at all, and I feel like any sandbox changes that are made come fall or in the future need to bear in mind that everything needs to be viable within their archetypes for what the role is supposed to be. So like the whole thing with scouts versus pulse, like scouts need to be more effective at range than pulse, and it doesn't mean you take the range down on pulse. You take the range down on pulse by like 5%, and then get the scouts to where they're about 5 to 10% above where pulses were. Because I can see them taking the range down on a pulse, but as long as they don't go crazy with it, I think it'd be fine. What do you guys think?
I was playing comp yesterday. All you need to do to be effective with a scout rifle is have a buddy. And it's fucking over.
I'm out right there.
Use him as a shield. Stand behind him.
No, I mean, I solo comp. Like I just go in and just go. And we played this one team, and three of the four of those guys had scouts. And like literally, I'm crouched down, nobody knows I'm there, and I peeked to see, and I was just dead, like instantaneously dead, because it's just like, okay,
That's awesome.
this is not fun. Well, this is why I carry lightning grenades. This is another thing that I do that I don't see a lot of people doing, because I like to throw them in corners,
Yeah,
and
I
nobody's
do
looking for
tend to
them.
yeah, I tend to get taken out by lightning grenades often enough, and I go, "Ooh, nice pull, dude." You know, because pulse grenades are kind of the thing if you're running
Right.
anything, if you have that available, because they tend to
Wait.
be really effective in most situations. But if you're baiting someone, um, you know, a lightning grenade is going to do you really well. You know, my big thing, and you know, some people in chat might be able to verify, but you know, I'm a big fan of like when you start a gunfight, pulse behind them, they will back into it, and if you can't get them with the gunfight, the pulse will take them out. So even if you end up trading, it'll be a nice even trade.
I have a habit, if I'm in any type of a hallway, I'd throw mine on the ceiling. Just
Very
and
Nirvana
sometimes
thing to
I
do.
might not even be going that way. I'm just like, oh look, a hallway. Just gonna throw that out there, see what happens, and then I'll be halfway across the map, and it was like double down. Oh, cool. Because no, well, like in D1, everybody was looking for lightning grenades. It's just
Yeah,
not
those are trip
nobody's.
mines.
Yeah, nobody looks for those things anymore. Now they're just like, oh yeah, and I'll be dead and watch people walk into them and just walk. Woo. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
that thing's been there for 10 seconds because it's just not a thing anymore.
You were talking about baiting. One of my favorite tactics to do is run around a corner, you know, having somebody follow me, jump up in the air and float because I'm a warlock, and then dive down on them and just melee them to death. That's
I hate people like you.
and that's legitimately all the kills I ever get in PvP. So
No.
some of you guys have skill, and then some of you guys are me.
I use a balance of over aggression and trickery. It's a weird line to walk, but it works
That
for me.
explains your marriage.
Beep.
Yeah.
Facts.
Low hanging fruit, Rick. Low hanging fruit, brother. I'm sorry.
So Jim, I can see you guys don't need me. I'm gonna take off for the rest of the night if you're just gonna sit here and trash Rick.
Did anybody get to play Solstice?
The fuck? No.
Almost
Jim.
done with my first set of green armor.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Almost done. I got stuff to do yet. It's just the green armor, mind you. It's not legendary or anything. Not even the blue yet.
I mean, are you having fun
it's
with it?
grindy, but if you pay attention to what the requirements are, you can combine them old school. Like bounties used, you know, really would be combinable, interchangeable in Destiny 1. So if you approach it with that mindset, it'll go a lot faster. There's a step on the green armor that you have to get 100 void orbs in Crucible, and I'm like, oh, or 100 void orbs. Yeah, 100 void orbs in Crucible. This is gonna fucking take forever.
Well, don't you get like 3 a kill or something?
I'll put it this way: in one Rumble match, which I won, getting like 48 orbs.
Oh, I see. That's not bad.
And then by the end of the second match, I was up to 95, and then in the third match, I had it. And you have to do 10 Crucible or Gambit matches anyway. So, and you could do it in
just
Gambit
sorts
as
itself
well.
out. That's good. Shit.
So yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I was worried about it, but it didn't take long at all. I'm on 7 out of 10 on Crucible. I'm 7 out of 10 on the strikes. The keys that are required to open the packages pretty liberally at this point. So I'm getting a range of 5 to 17 per activity, depending on what I'm doing and how I'm not sure how it's calculated or what, but works pretty well. So it's not bad. It just takes a little bit of time. And it's one of these things where something I don't know yet is whether or not the consumables side of it carries from character to character. for me, that's going to be my definition of whether or not it grinds out, because you got the packages and the keys, and it would be really. I haven't done it on any other characters yet, and I haven't looked at any resources because I haven't had time. I've been busy bee today.
Rick Cackles will have a video out tomorrow. It'll be fine.
Fallout's probably got 6 of them.
What was that?
I said Rick Cackles will have a video out tomorrow morning. It'll be fine.
Hey guys, Rick Cackles here. Cactus as a person, I got no issue with. I think he's a great guy. I think even his videos, once you get past the intro, are fine. But YouTubers in general, when they have like the exact same intro every time, it gets annoying.
What's up, guys?
That's what I mean. You know what? That's legitimately why I just say hi. At the beginning of every one of my videos, I always go hi. Because I didn't know how I was going to start it. And I'm just like, I don't want to.
Even Wife does that.
Hi.
Wife goes greeting Guardians, and that's kind of his thing, and then that's fine. But when you have this long-winded brouhaha channel like
yeah, but I think Rick had actually invented the long-winded brouhaha. So I mean, as the originator,
yeah, I can kind of see. I mean, it's the meme of the Destiny subreddit, so you know, like anything that could possibly be turned into content. There's always going to be this thread meme where they do the intro one line at a time, and they get tons of upvotes. It's like their first, you know, like, hey guys, Rick Cackles, and he's like 57 upvotes. It's like,
I got to hang with him for Guardian Con. We went and watched the UFC fight in the middle of a vacation resort. We had to go find a fucking Buffalo Wild Wings to watch the UFC fight. And like, because we even asked them, because there was an outside bar. It's like, we can't get the fight, and it was like, well, we could get the fight, but we'd have to actually charge each individual person like $20 to watch the fight. It's like, the fight's like 60. It's $60.
Not for a business.
Apparently, it is for Buffalo Wild Wings, because we didn't pay shit to go watch the motherfucker. And yeah, me, Mylan, Rick Cackles, and Lord Cognito. And we were actually doing like the reactions, like every time someone had a fight, we'd go like, oh.
I would imagine that the markup at a Buffalo Wild Wings is a lot more than a markup at like one of the hotel restaurants or whatever, because that's where Buffalo Wild Wings are making their money on. You know, they're buying wings at like, you know, a few pennies a wing, and they're charging you $10 for a bucket of them or whatever. So I can assume that based off your bill alone, they could justify it, but you know.
Plus, that's kind of their shtick. It's sports,
right?
And they probably pay whatever the all-inclusive sports package is, where like a hotel isn't going to pay for that pay-per-view. And then I can tell from experience, because I've done this. I've owned bars, and we've done the pay-per-view thing before, and we've paid as much as $1,200 for a pay-per-view event. One of them was WrestleMania. One of them was a boxing match. We've paid $1,200 because it's a business account, not a private account.
For fuck's sake.
Oh.
Yeah, to get those.
Wow.
So yeah, they really
those because they want their cut, and it makes sense. It does make sense.
I mean, to them, they're selling a ticket to the event. I mean, that's what they're legitimately doing. You're selling tickets, you know. So, I mean, we did. This was a couple of years ago. It was a Pacquiao fight, a boxing match. I can't remember who he fought, but it was $1,285 for the rights to the fight, and it was just one that went the distance. But the amount of people that showed up in our bar that night covered that cost, no problem. I mean,
yeah, it paid for itself.
I mean, oh God, sure. I mean, there were people that, because a lot of the bars around us weren't doing it, we had people that had never been to our place before and never came back after, because we were the only place in town that was showing it, you know, and it got out.
But the windfall from something like that would probably be worth it at that point.
We made that. We made that money that night. I mean, we covered that cost no problem, you know, that night. Especially with a boxing match where it goes, you know, the full 12 rounds and ends on decision and everything, because those people are there, you know, 3 hours, you know, drinking, and they're heavy drinking, you know, not just you know, I'm here to sip a beer or whatever.
Yeah, the Wild Wings in Orlando was not mentally prepared to feed drinks to two Southerners, an Australian, and Rick Cackles.
Well,
Imagine not.
considering.
Oh no, because like after the third round, like not the third round of the fight, like the third round of drinks, it was like, yeah, can we get like 3 rum and cokes and whatever, and 20 minutes would go by. There were no other people in our section. We could literally stand there and stare at the bartender.
Keep in
He'd
mind
like
that,
piss
that
off,
awesome.
go around the other end.
keep in mind that Buffalo Wild Wings is owned by Arby's, and Arby's is the king of slow fast food anyway. So they're just bringing that business
I'm
model.
talking
over.
about a drink.
It's still the same business model. Make them wait, motherfucker. That's the business model.
Oh god, they'd have made so much more money off of us. It was like after the fight was over, we had to go find a place to get a fucking drink. It's like I left the bar to go to a bar.
Yeah, I tell you, like the best business model for a bar that I ever saw, ever. And it's one of those things that I once I saw it, and I knew I'd seen it in the past, but I didn't link it together until I experienced it in real life. Lived in Aurora, Illinois for several years, and for the last 2 or 3 years I lived there. I lived in the only high rise in Aurora. Aurora downtown as a valley. The dead center of downtown is the base of that valley, and it goes up. And this high rise can be seen above the valley. It goes up like 15 stories or something, which is not crazy, but you know, in an area like that, it is. I lived on the 12th floor. Floor was a bar that you could get into from inside the building, and they didn't care if you walked in there in your bathrobe and slippers. We're covered up. They didn't care. It was amazing. You know, I can't tell you how many times where I'm like, oh, we're out of beer. I'm like, who's got cash? Let's go. And, you know, we go down and party, whatever. Or like sometimes you just would be in the mood for some food. You can go down there, get some food and have a beer and go back up. And killing. Occasionally they have like karaoke or something little. It was a nice little place. They had really good food and the prices were reasonable. And at the time I was a touring musician. And I remember one night I got in there, I was getting pretty sloshed. And like, hey, we got these beers in. I've never tried them before, but it's, you know, it's a high alcohol. I know you'll like something like this because I'm always going like, I'm always asking them what the alcohol content was of the beer. I'm like, I'm paying this much. I want to get something that's gonna knock me. Pull out a Hogarten, which is, I don't know if it's German or Austrian or Dutch or what. I'm assuming it's German. It's like a 6-7 or something. It's pretty up there. It tastes kind of like battery acid mixed with hops, which is what it basically is. But it'll do the job. And I knocked back like 5 or 6 of them, and I said, "Man, keep those coming. That's awesome." Absolutely. Like, you're a good customer. You're a regular here, Jim. We'll get you some more of these, and always cold for it. I appreciate that. I will definitely make sure to take advantage of that next time I'm in. Then I proceed to go on tour for 3 weeks, take 2 days off, and then do 3 festival dates in a row. So I'm gone for like a month. Didn't go back. I get back, and they're like, "Dude, we've had this case of Hogarten sitting here for a fucking month. Where have you been?" And I explained it like, all right, well, here, listen. I know normally we charge like $3.50 for these, but they've been here so long, and you're a good guy. You've been busy. $2 a bottle until they're gone. That bar for 3 days.
Challenge accepted.
Exactly. I'm like, how many do you have? And they told me, and I just laid down the whole thing in cash. I'm like, I know you can't let me carry these out, but
Was that a thing in Illinois? You couldn't buy over the counter to leave with you?
can't do that in Illinois.
Oh, because in Ohio, we used to sell.
When they were right in Ohio, you can do that, and in like in Wisconsin, you can do that.
Yeah, we used to sell 6-packs right over the bar for like $15 at the end of the night. It was ridiculous.
You can't do that in Illinois.
Yeah, no, not here either.
Like, bartenders were cool. Like, they'd under the table, that kind of stuff. If you closed down the place, if you lived there, or if you were going to be partying afterwards or whatever, which happened a few times. But outside of that, I mean, it isn't something you can legally do.
So,
but not for lack of trying.
I tell you, I mean, this isn't necessary, but since Rick's gone and we got time to kill, I'll tell you this quick story. I worked at a bar as a DJ for just a few months, a place that had opened, been around for a while. They were kind of on their last legs. They were trying this new thing. They brought me in to try to change the format and do all this stuff. And I drink Coors Light when I go to drink beer. It's just because of being diabetic. It's what I know how to deal with insulin and everything. So they didn't carry it. And I kind of asked them, I'm like, hey, can you just order some for, basically for me and whatever. And I got a lot of pushback from the manager, so I never brought it up again or whatever. So the bar goes out of business. I kind of had made friends with the owner of the bar, so when the bar was going out of business, I was helping them pack up their stuff and kind of clear out the place and everything. And I'm in the goddamn cooler, and there's a case of Coors Light with a note on it that says, "Save for DJ." The manager had ordered it, even though he gave me a ton of shit, and it got buried under all of the other stock, and I had no idea that it was there.
Oh.
And yeah, I ran into the guy like a couple months later, and I'm like, hey man, thanks for ordering that case, but fuck you for not telling me that it was there. And so the owner gave it to me when I left. He's like, you can take this. I'm like, I don't really want it because it's been here for like 3-4 months, but
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that was nice of him.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, I just couldn't believe he gave me all that shit and then still ordered it anyway.
I mean, some people are like that. I mean, I worked at a strip club for about 6 months. I was a DJ at a strip club. And in Pennsylvania, there's two different types of strip clubs. There are
bikini bars.
No walk-in.
Go on.
There's a traditional like it's a topless bar where they serve alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then they have a separate. If they have a separate room that's completely cordoned off, you can't serve alcohol or drink alcohol in that room. They have the full-blown, everyone's naked strip bar. Strip club.
Right.
And there's the other kind, which
if I have nothing to drink, I don't want to be there.
Where this one is tons of fun, and why I chose to work at this particular one. Had a rule where like anything goes in terms of like clothing or whatnot. Because of the way the laws work in Pennsylvania, you could bring your own beer. As much beer
they
as you
have
want,
that here.
the cover charge. And the cover charge in that place was $20, which is very reasonable if you are a dedicated. Because my whole thing was this:
exotic arts and Suthlius.
No. Here's the thing.
We talk.
If I'm going to get a 6-pack or a 12-pack of beer and go home and listen to music, instead of getting really, really good beer and sitting alone listening to music, cheap beer, pay the extra $20, and then now I've added to my drinking night. And even if I don't go crazy and I'm not there to be like a lurid, lewd creep guy, it's just better things to look at while listening to rock and metal. So it was a much better choice for me. And then they noticed that I was there and just kind of became like part of the crew. And
you want a job
as a DJ. Exactly, dude. Because if I was gonna have a 6-pack of beer, I was like, I'll fucking go to Climax. Fuck it.
You mean you're gonna pay me to do this?
That's exactly what it was. And they ended up being I was like, sweet. And then like that, dude, it's a good gig. Because, I just brought in like a book of CDs because before MP3 players and all that shit. This is 20 years ago. And the way it worked was I could play whatever I wanted. The girls wanted the dancers wanted a specific set. They'd have to tip me X amount of money to play their set.
Oh wow, that's different than the bars that I worked in. So
it was pretty cool. And then you would work certain things out where like some dancers were pros and were very, very consistent with their take home. So what they would start doing is saying, look, I'll give you a percentage at the end of the night if you just play my set every single time, and I'd make more money that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like $50 to $100 per dancer just from that. That went all for everybody.
My favorite thing.
And then you'd have people in there their own beer by the case, and they'll be like, dude, can you play Master of Puppets? And I'm like, well, what do you got? And they'll be like, I'll give you 6 beers. I'm like, for Master of Puppets, that's
fair trade. You're gonna need them all.
Sure, give me the 6 beers.
I've done the math, and this makes sense.
Let's do it. And then don't have the heart to tell them it was on like 3 songs later anyway. But sure,
yeah.
You haven't really lived until you've seen someone willingly strip to Cannibal Corpse. Fun. that was cool. Like trying to make hammer smashed faced erotic was pretty fun to watch. You know, and they would be like, how do you dance to a blast beat? I'm like, well, forget about the snare drum. Listen to the guitar and the way the rhythm flows in the guitar, and then you dance to that. And they're like, oh, like the part you can hum.
My answer to that question was always, the girl on stage is probably so coked out anyway she can't hear what's going on.
Right.
At least in the clubs that I worked in.
We didn't really have that issue.
Oh my God, we did.
Yeah.
Holy.
We had one. We had one like that.
Oh no, we would be lucky we'd be lucky if we had one girl that wasn't in a night. So
yeah, that's fair.
Some of the clubs, I mean,
this is the days of like, this is when Corn and Limp Bizkit kind of ruled the scene. Mm-hmm. So you kind of had to do, but we became known as kind of like where we started and only went up, and people would drive from Pittsburgh like 35 miles to come to this club.
Where at in PA?
This was like Greensburg area.
Okay.
Outside of Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm 2 hours.
That's where my family's originally from.
Okay. I'm 2 hours away. That's why I'm asking. So my favorite thing to do when I was in those clubs.
Club's not there anymore.
I'm not going. I just was curious to where the fuck because
just going.
No. Just was it closer or farther away from me?
20.
So
when I flew in for my mother's funeral, I specifically asked my brother-in-law to drive past it without telling him what we were driving past. I'm like, take this route; it'll be less traffic, which was true. And we drove by the strip club and one of my ex-girlfriend's house. I was curious to see if that house was still there because it was such a piece of shit, and the house was still there. Oh my God, the house is still there. We went by the strip club, and the building was there, but I asked a buddy of mine who came to the funeral, what happened to Climax? I closed down like 3 years ago. God. All right, fine. You know,
I guess we'll go to the funeral.
I'm in for a funeral and a strip club. Like it's
fine. We'll go to the funeral.
And we all have different coping methods, gentlemen. Right? And come on, there's only one time in your life you're ever going to get to go to a strip club and say to somebody, you wouldn't have to worry about paying anything. You get all the sympathy in the world.
Mom died. I'm going to go do a line of blow off of a stripper.
That's where I was going with this.
Oh, no.
So, I'm having a chat earlier, and it just kind of came out. We all had different experiences growing up. Some were more advanced than others. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was like, well, I played drums well, it's like, well, I played an instrument too, but I wasn't in a rock band. I go, yeah, rock band life's a little different. It's like, well, okay, how? I was like, well, like, you walk in and a guy's like, dude, you want a beer? I was like, nah, I'm good. Thanks. Oh, okay, cool. You want some blow? Sure. It's just like a quick progression. It's like...
It was. I remember specifically doing different tours of the U.S. and we went to Canada. It was a really next level operation that we did, and you could tell everything ran more smoothly. The tour manager knew what he was doing. We were respected because we had a reputation for being hard workers, and we got treated really well. But the thing was, all of that didn't really sink in as far as like, 'cause to me it was like, well, this is just how it's supposed to be done. It didn't really hit me that we're at a next level of metal until we're backstage in Toronto at the Opera House. KK from Destroyer 666 takes the.
Here we go.
Goes, dude, I love this CD, and then goes. It's perfect. And that was the first time I'd ever witnessed anyone do a line of blow off of something I'd recorded. Now we've made it.
We've made it. People have done cocaine off of me.
When the headliner does a line of coke off your seat, like, I'm keeping this, and he puts it in his pocket. The song's like 17 times. But it was just like, not that I really wear that like a badge of honor, but goddamn, it was funny. It was like, okay, fair enough. Bunch of rowdy Australians that live in Germany.
And
I remember,
and that's what we think of Solstice of Heroes.
More or less.
Right.
More entertaining anyway. I was playing in Tipitinas in New Orleans, which obviously that's where I'm from. And Tipitinas has this gigantic green room above the stage. It's like on the second floor. You go up in the back, and then you have to actually go down to get to the stage. But the green room's like, I mean, I'm going back, but it's like fucking 50 feet long, or it's obnoxiously large. And I remember I remember the second time, I was like second or third time I played there. I walk in and it's like a dude from another band is sitting on this old cigarette burnt couch shooting smack. And I'm just like, and everybody was just going about their conversations, just like, yeah, so anyway, yeah, we went to eat over here. And I'm like, that dude shooting smack, man.
And I think that's one of the neat things for me with like the heavier stuff is that like you don't see a lot of that because uppers mainly, you know, because it's literally a speed thing.
Well, he was a bass player, so it made sense.
You know, he's playing at halftime.
Dude was obviously the kind of person that, you know, was a little high strung, so he needed to take it down, you know, he needed to anchor.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I was not a musician. I was just a DJ and then a bar owner.
I mean, I didn't want to be a musician. That kind of happened. And then a lot of stuff happened after that.
So the dumbest thing that ever happened to me in relationship to any of this is I got hired in a bar, and this was a country-themed bar. And they had, like a lot of bars that were built like in plazas and whatever, they had like an employee parking area where the owner and the, you know, the waitresses and bartenders and whatever would park. That was separate. Like in the back, yeah, right? Like on the side of the building or whatever. And so you always knew when the owner was there because some gorgeous brand new car would be in the very first spot. You knew that was the thing. Mm-hmm. And this is my first night of work there, right? And I'm 20 years old, 19 years old, walking into this bar. And I don't know who really the owner is. I don't know the wife or the girlfriend or the mistress. I don't know who any of those people are yet. You know, just haven't met them. And I'm walking by this brand new Mercedes. And there's this woman passed out with all I can imagine is baking soda all over the fucking dashboard. Just laying face first. That was my introduction, my first night.
God.
So, at 19 years old, having never been in that situation and seeing that, you know, and the owner excess that happened in bars. So like, what the fuck? You know, and then obviously very quickly you go, oh, okay, I get this. But it just took a minute to click. But, right. You know, to see a woman in a convertible just passed out on the dashboard. And boyfriend, you know, husband, whatever, and you're going, he just left her there. Like, you're not going to come check on her, whatever, just abandoned.
So, I worked in this blues club, and it was basically, imagine like a really large train car. Like, that's how the bar was set up. It was just like if you took two train cars and put them together, that's how the bar was set up. Man, we had a girl worked with, she was a little different. Well, you know the Jägermeister machines where they're like you put
the three bottles on the top and
and
put the glass in.
The pole on. So at the end of the night, and I never noticed it. This had gone on for a while. I never noticed. She used to take the drain at the bottom of it. It looked like a waffle. It was like a little piece of plastic, and she'd go Jager waffle, and drink all the extra Jager that had fallen into the fucking dish at the bottom of the Jager machine. I'm like, what the fuck you do? She's like, I do this every night. I'm like, well, I guess it's clean, being that, you know, you're the one handling it, so who am I to judge?
I mean, it's alcohol. It's going to kill
whatever. A rational, reasonable person. That's who you are to judge. You're really wrong. I have my propensity for certain liquids, but there's a limit, dude.
I mean, at that point in my life, there's only so many stones I probably could have threw, to be honest. There's only so much judgment.
That's fair. I mean, that's kind of why, like, you know, I tell the strip club story. Again, that was 20 years ago. I was in my early 20s. I was just really happy to be making money doing something that much fun. I looked the other way for a lot of shit, you know.
I think
And
that's the case for most of us when we were in our 20s.
I went out one night and woke up in Arkansas. We were nowhere near Arkansas. Why are we here? It was like, we were going to Little Rock, but we just got tired and pulled over. Okay. Can we go back now? It's like a 10-hour drive the other direction.
wow.
How the fuck did you go to sleep
That's
for
crazy.
10 hours?
Tell you after the show. There's ways.
Just so you guys know, there's going to be a new cast called Destiny Unfiltered, Uncensored.
We'll put that on the Patreon.
We'll do it at
Patreon
Sunday at
page.
10
It's going to
a.m.
be like a high tier, right?
Be all the shit we can't talk about without fear of violating TOS.
Like,
And then, in all honesty,
yeah,
I probably wasn't
do the
asleep for 10
backstage.
hours. I was probably the guy going, "Let's go!"
You're probably the guy driving.
Also a possibility back then. Don't drink and drive.
Definitely don't do that.
I've never drank and drove, but I've woken up in my car a few times. Just leave it at that. I do not condone this. I do not condone this behavior.
Speaking of things that you suddenly realize you're doing, and then you realize, oh, I'm doing this right now. Solstice Heroes Grind. It's kind of like that. You kind of get in the haze. You really do, because you forget, oh, this is for a purpose.
Just keep pushing harder.
Wow, that was a stretch to
Yeah.
bring it back to Destiny. Holy shit.
Well, I mean, this train was never going to end,
No.
so we got to get it up somehow.
I mean, hey, look, if I'm gonna take,
I mean, it was a good try.
If I'm gonna take you guys that far out, dude, I'm gonna take you to the Dreadnought, bring your power. Okay, it's okay. We'll get there.
I
May
hated
take me
that
a
raid.
minute.
No, I'm sorry.
And by the way, since it was advertised, and we're ever so thinly on the subject, Godzilla kills Oryx even in the Ascendant Realm every time. Do not dispute me. Every time.
I agree.
Because all he's got to do is rock the breath, go in a circle to kill all the ads. And every other mechanic, atomic breath.
That's
just takes care of it.
inconsequential to Godzilla.
Exactly.
All right, so
little strong.
well, let me ask you this, because this is just my thing. I said this. I don't know. I was on a thing somewhere. I said this week. The Solstice armor, which we're all chasing around, which it sounds like I'm going to get it regardless. If I just play, I'm going to get this. As long as I show up to pick it up. So I was originally just like, I'm not even going to deal with this because I have other things I want to do, but it seems like they did a really good job putting it together. But I know that's going to carry over to Shadowkeep, but if there is a new power cap, aren't we just going to be equipping blue things immediately?
No, because
Okay.
they've been doing it even with Forsaken. It was only powerful drops, and that's why that going from potentially 400 was such a slog, because it was only powerful drops that would get you there. They weren't really raising the traditional soft cap in any meaningful way above, I think, like 5, not even 5.
I'm gonna interrupt you real quick
yeah,
and make a DDU joke. Podcast starts at 1 hour and 9 minutes in.
Oh, fuck off.
No.
We started off with the Crucible.
I'm teasing, asshole. Just
Jeez. Podcast starts at 1 hour and 9 minutes. We
No,
did it
I
in
mean-
reverse. We should have put
anytime-
podcast ends at 36 minutes.
This is the 4th time now, I think. So, you know what you're in for when I'm on the show. You know what you're in for.
We don't know what we're in
me,
for any week of the show.
I forgot it was Tuesday.
Legitimately.
There you go.
It was like we had Green on right before Guardian Con, and it would happen to be one of the few episodes Log could actually catch live because he's on the other side of the world. He's at work, and they talk about it. He's like, they talked about Lord of Wolves for 5 minutes, and I don't know what the fuck happened the rest of the time. It's like, but it was amazing. Something to that effect.
Nah, so the question I raised in my stream today was, what power level is the Armor 2.0 version going to drop at? And the general consensus upon discussion was that more than likely it'll drop at 750 or at like 1 or 2 above wherever you are when you pick it up. Because people that get Destiny New Light and download it are automatically 750 after that initial mission. See them dropping the Armor 2.0 at like a 730 or like a regular legendary drop. I think it'll be at level. If they drop it at 730 and make me want to infuse it up, I think that's pretty shitty. That's just an educated guess based upon that context. It's going to be a separate set of armor. It's not. They're not going to upgrade the set you have. You're going to get Armor 2.0 at Gunsmith.
I'm going to be trying to figure out how to play Destiny on PC for launch, so, hey.
Just plug in the controller like the rest of us reasonable people do.
I'm talking about getting the game to actually turn on. I am a caveman.
That's legitimately been a thing for me for 3 weeks.
It's just like, I'm not even worried about streaming it. I'm just worried about, like, how I do this again.
Steam without the R.
I'll watch a YouTube video. I'll learn how to do it. It'll be
Rick
fine.
Hackers will show you.
Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube video.
I need someone to clip this. Rick, if you hear this, for people like me who are switching to PC for Shadowkeep, I would really like it if you made a how to turn on your PC game walkthrough video.
Yeah, how to launch
from Steam.
Tutorial.
By Rick Cacus.
It'll
Steam
be
tutorial for Destiny 2.
a 3-part series.
Dude, that motherfucker would get views, and you'd stretch it out to 10 minutes per video.
He can get 10 minutes and 13 seconds out of anything. The motherfucker's a genius.
Interesting.
I love you, Rick.
I don't begrudge him that. But,
We love you, Rick. He might possibly be the most spoken about person on this show. Yeah, I think I'm about to go back through and make a Rick Cacus reference montage.
It would be Rick Cacus, Fallout, or Log. It would be the top 3 candidates, I would guess.
I think
Log would edge out Rick Cacus. So if you count how many references, Log and Rick are neck and neck right now. 3 or 4 Logs, 3 or 4 Cacuses. Game now, boys.
I am not going back and listening to 31 episodes to figure this out.
Me either.
I don't have that much goddamn time in my day.
Somebody will hear this, and somebody will do it. Unsolicited. It'll happen.
All right. The first person to legitimately figure that out and edit it down so there's a count. In other words, you have to edit it. Each one.
Oh yeah, I need proof of life.
And then you have to have the number on the screen. So you got to edit this video together. I will buy you the equivalent of a case of your favorite beer.
Oh, this is that stupid Bungie thing that just got done this week. Did you guys see that? The 10,000 Baryon whatever from
Somebody actually fucking did it?
Yeah, they put it on Twitter, and was it?
Wait,
was it
what is it?
Cosmo's response was, "Oh."
Are you talking about the 100,000?
Yes.
Banyan Burrow?
Yes.
100,000. Yes.
Yes. Somebody completed it.
That was the whole thing about trading Banyan Burrow to buy Shadowkeep.
Dude, like, think about that for a second. Like, the question becomes, how many hours do they actually sink into getting those? And then if you divide that by, 150 is how much the collector's edition costs, something like that, 180 or something like that. No, it's like 150. 150. That's probably a pretty low working rate. Wage. It's a rage wage because you get angry as you work. 23. So my question is now: do they actually take the materials out of their account?
No.
I think they should.
Bungie comes and cashes in 100,000. So the video at the end showed 100,000.
That was 100.
I saw another one, and this was what is it like? Is it like Bad Destiny comments or something? It's a Twitter account. Bad Destiny tweets. You ever seen this? And whoever runs the account is just a troll. So this dude now legitimately was bitching at Bungie because he wanted a refund because it's going free to play. So he figured his difference of what he paid versus what Bungie owed him was like $168. So the bad Bungie tweets looked up this dude's account on time wasted on Destiny. He goes, while you're at it, could you ask for a refund for the 2,600 hours you played of the game as well?
Exactly, that's where I was going to go with it.
The dude legit, but no, he posted it, dude's name and everything. There's a screenshot of 2,600 hours played.
Yeah,
right. If you divide that by, if like even with Destiny 2, right? I bought it on all 3 platforms at release, and I bought a shitload of silver at release.
You did.
I did. It's a lot.
We have video of it.
It's true. It's true.
World video, right? No, you just shit your pants. We'd have got the commercial just now.
Oh shit! Speaking of that, Rick, we've had this conversation in the past.
Speaking of shitting your pants,
we've had this conversation off air, but I still think we need one of those. Please hold. Your call is very important to us, so we can put the podcast on hold, so we can do Google verification and stuff like that. We need one of those to just put up.
Have you seen? I don't remember her name. Have you seen the girl that does the breaking news during her stream whenever a guy says something like out of fucking whack?
Oh yeah. That's
I started following. She's funny as fuck.
No, that's her.
Yes.
Yeah, she's one of my
She
friends.
is funny as fuck. Oh my god.
She's amazing, dude.
All right. So Jim, you were calculating hours and time and money and silver. Sorry.
So like you figure
it's a lot.
I had 3 digital deluxe editions, like $90 a pop. That's like 270.
Why? Never mind.
There. And then I got the collector's edition for PS4. It's another 250. Right? No. Yes.
Yeah, it was 250.
It's 250. So then there were over $320 plus silver. We'll just round that up to $100 because I know I got at least that much over the first month, the bare minimum. So now we're talking about close to $650. Destiny 2, right?
That's a lot.
And then it is. Now let's look at. I've got 28-ish 100 hours in Destiny. So let's see, 650 divided by 2,800.
A lot. Got
that
it.
is 23 cents per hour. Now,
I don't think
any
you're
amount,
getting...
it's like get any decent entertainment for 23 cents an hour. Let alone the community, the camaraderie.
I don't think you're getting your money's worth, man.
No, I think they fucked you.
I think I am. No, I think
if it was 22 cents an hour, I'd be on board. But 23,
it throws the whole fucking ratio off.
Cap, Jim, and it's right. You're right above my cap. I just can't do it. One considers the fact that so much of what I'm doing is carrying through for a long period of time. Even if there is a Destiny 3 in 2 years' time or whatever, it still.
We're going to be playing it regardless.
At the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. Then you look at the pricing model that they're introducing now. A lot more reasonable overall. Even if I do continue to do triple platform, which I probably am, the cross save. I got friends on all 3 platforms.
Nah, I'll end up doing it.
Yeah, it's something where just to have the ability to pick up any controller or whatever, play my character wherever I want to go, it's worth it. The one place I'm not investing is Stadia. I thought about it. I've thought about it. I've thought about it. That platform is just jacked.
There's a lot of issues with that. It is not even on yet.
Because there's zero ownership of the game. You're own. That's all it is.
Well,
yeah, you might not even own the games that you buy.
There's that. There's the lag issue. There's latency issues.
Fuck all that.
I mean, there's just so much there that it's well. And then if it was anybody else than besides Google doing it, but Google has that history of just fucking abandoning whatever they're trying to do. I mean, there are websites.
So does Microsoft.
Well, yeah, but Google is better.
Yeah.
Google is better at it. So.
Yeah.
They're just leaner, bro. They're just maneuver faster. We're getting towards. If you're hanging out with us in chat and you have any questions, comments, queries, posers you want to throw at us, do it now as we continue to ramble. I meant to do that like 15
posers
minutes
at
ago.
me. I'm metal. Fuck, I hate posers. Oh man, that was a quality joke. Don't even look at me like it was.
That was puns indeed. I'm judging
quality.
you. I'm judging you silently on the inside and also outside as I'm audibly saying it right now that I'm judging you.
Whatever you say, Judy.
You know,
Rick is Judy now.
On that note, we're going to call it a night.
It wouldn't be the first time. Not be the first time.
Oh, goddamn.
Oh, we got shit coming up. Like, we got a lot of shit.
Okay.
What do we got coming up?
We got the Patreon thing.
Yes, we do.
It's actually a question from chat.
How does one grow such a majestic red beard?
Catch the beginning of the podcast. And
Tell the people!
Honestly, the easiest way to grow a beard like this, you have to let it grow.
Yeah, don't shave.
Because when it, not quite that easy, smartass.
No.
That was the easiest. But no, you have to let it go. You have to let it go far past what you want it to. Because when it first comes in, it's going to be wiry. It's going to be rough. You got to let it grow about twice the length you actually want it to be. Make sure that you're, treating it well, conditioning it, moisturizing, using beard oil, things like that to condition
That was
the skin.
my follow-up question. How do you moisturize your beard?
I have
with sweat and tears.
It's beard specific conditioner that I use, and I rub it in. I have used oil in the past. I do like oil. In terms of what's easiest for me is about twice a week I'll throw the conditioner in it and stuff.
Beard balm was good for me.
Been really well conditioned and so forth to keep it nice and brushed. Then you go back and you trim it to length, and it tends to be a lot more manageable. It looks better and so forth.
Yeah, plus you can shape it a little bit and stuff then too.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what we have to do, because if you grow in with the intent of shaping it as it grows, it's not going to go great.
No, my rule was always 6 weeks. You don't touch it. Minimum of 6 weeks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Don't shape it. Don't touch it. Don't do anything. Just let it go.
But
Green Neon Driver, hello.
By the way, just to finish up on the comment before, the 100,000 barrel boat was done by Sweatsickle, was the guy who got it. So, just
he is probably the most likely dude to have done that. That makes sense. Just in retrospect.
Yeah, that's what I was looking up was.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's good, dude.
So, anyways.
All right, so we are doing a Patreon. Where the hell is that? Where can they find that?
I'll put the link. I'll put the links up in the show notes tonight. I actually have them.
Being Asian, you cannot grow a beard.
Is that a thing for real?
I mean,
I'm trying to think of any Asian.
I beg to differ because of Pai Mei.
Well, you got to figure that there are some some ethnicities, some gene pools that they don't do facial hair very well. There's certainly like you'll see some Chinese, some Japanese.
I think Fu Manchu is a style of facial hair, not an actual dude.
Yes.
Just throwing
We
that
call
out there.
that dude. Yeah. But like, I don't want to speak out of turn as far as it being. I'll have to fact check this, but like for example, I believe
This is a very
like
hard
Korean,
conversation for three old white guys to be talking about.
I think that like certain parts.
It
of
wasn't
Korea,
a
like,
question.
there's
He can't grow a beard.
Yeah.
He's Asian.
Right, but that's what I'm
Right.
saying. Like,
right.
we come off very wrong side.
No,
of this.
I'm saying it. All I'm saying is it's science.
Mm-hmm.
Is that there? And it's the same for anyone. Some black people, some white people, and Latin descent. Whatever. Like there's different gene pools, and there's certain areas and bloodlines where facial hair growth just isn't something that's either consistent in certain places, or it doesn't grow at a length where it's consistent with a beard. It is not exclusive to any one.
I do not grow a great beard.
See,
And I have really thick facial hair, but the beard does not work. Like I can have nothing underneath my chin, and like I have to shape my cheeks, and I can pull it off, but it's not a great beard. I could do a great goatee, but I mean, Irish, German, not really known for great beards. Just throwing it out there.
German,
I can literally grow from here down all the way up to the top of my ears. No problem.
Yeah, grow above your ears, fucker.
Yeah, no, that's the issue. So, but I mean, I can get it right, like almost under my eyelids. I can start growing fucking hair. It's ridiculous.
So what we have to do is get him a rig where you can hang from your feet and be like, oh yeah, my hair's fine.
Yeah. It doesn't work that way at all. That's not how this works.
So
that's not how any of this works.
So JD,
be fair.
JD asked a question if all three of us have dove into Solstice yet, and if so, thoughts. And we did cover this at the beginning, but JD, only one of us has, and that would be Jim. And Jim, you're welcome to, reiterate your thoughts if you'd like or not.
Green Neon Driver is German and Chinese, so he is double fucked. Just pointing that out before you continue.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Continue.
So with Solstice, I think that it's, and I haven't seen the blue upgrade path yet. In terms of its doability, I'm almost done with my first green set with about 6 or 7 hours invested. If you look at each of the objectives and combine them in the way we used to combine bounties and quest lines in Destiny 1, and you can to a degree in Destiny 2, if you keep your eye on that and focus on one or two things, you'll be fine. When you go for the PvP stuff, I highly recommend, because you have to get a certain amount of matches and you have to do certain kinds of weapon types, and it's just easier to get the kills and stuff. And I actually found a lot of people were letting you get kills. Like there was actually a 3 stack that they were queuing in, and they all went into Rumble together, and they would just dance together and let you get like a triple kill or whatever. A few grenade kills out of it too, so it was pretty nice.
This never happens to me.
It happened to me 3 matches in a row, and they were just like, and I didn't really need the kill, so I killed them because I could. Plus, the thing is, if they're doing that, and I do that consistently every time that they spawn, the match goes faster, because all I needed at that point were match completions. So if you take a Rumble match, which is already shorter, and then just really pop off and you can get it done, or if you have someone in the match that's really doing well, and give them the kills, feed the kills to them, so you'll get through it faster. Yeah, you'd be good. And then the other thing is with the strikes, pay attention to the burns. Like it's solar this week, so you probably want to get the strikes done now before reset. You listening after the fact, back to solar, if it does happen this week, or whatever the burn is, pay attention to it and build, do your build accordingly, because the strikes will go up a shitload faster if you stack those burns. So it's solar burn this week. It was solar today. I went in with Paragon Greens notes and did quite a good job of cleaning up stuff. So if you just pay attention to what you're needing to do and the context you're doing it in, this will go really quick. And given that we're getting these armors 2.0 sets for Shadowkeep, I think it's totally worth it. My answer would be very different if we were not getting these armor sets. I will only do them on one character. I don't care about that Sparrow, but because I'm going to be getting 3 sets of armor going into Shadowkeep, it's worth my time, and I'll put in the time.
Fair enough.
I will just be playing PvP until then. End of story.
I'm
still kicking into Menagerie. Is anybody else kicking Menagerie? I wanted to ask this earlier.
Yes, a little bit, but I just got my PC back up and running, so I'm still kicking.
I'm still trying to get an off-stringer that works. Bullet point one that works.
They all work. They
Not really.
Come without like a firing pin or something.
Yes, it's
That's
called
what it feels
Persistence and Demolitionist.
So on PC,
that's fair.
On PC, Menagerie feels kind of like a ghost town right now, and
yeah.
To be fair, I'm going to qualify this by saying I have tried to play over the last few weeks, but I was having technical issues and just got back up and running the last couple days, so I don't know when that really started. Like, I don't know if it was right after the patch or if it's just that, I've been getting on really late the last couple nights, just getting caught up on all my other work. I don't know what the circumstances are.
I'd say that, like, the hours that you keep, I have noticed in the past that, like, from midnight Central until about, like, AM Central, it's pretty dead on all the platforms to a certain degree. Mm-hmm. Just because you've only got the really like dedicated Europeans playing it, even then it's just that weird blend of the player base.
And that's
I don't really have a problem getting the game, but I'm on Australian time.
Yeah,
literally.
And because my PC was literally down for 3 weeks, I'm still catching up during the day, getting all that done, all that stuff. So it's 2-3 o'clock in the morning Eastern time before I'm able to jump in and game for a couple hours. So.
And because of the region that you're in,
it's
that may be informing, because it may just be a thing, where, like I've noticed, lower matchmaking times here in Texas versus when I was in Iowa, for example.
Well, because
there's just
there's
not as
5
many people playing.
Iowa.
Yeah, there's not that many Destiny players in Texas. Although there's
5. Well, 4. Jim left, so 4.
Well, in Iowa actually had a lot of Destiny players, dude. Like,
just
teasing from Iowa.
Just teasing.
No, I'm not from Iowa. I don't owe any allegiance to that state. But
what's in Iowa?
Not Jim.
What's in Iowa? Nothing now. No, I love nothing.
Fine. This is fine.
And JD, your comment. Thank God you can still grow eyebrows. If that was directed at me, it's eyebrow.
Oh, right. I can see it. You never should have pointed that out because I can totally see it now.
It's just
I got out mine.
Really? Am I the only one that has? I'm the only one with.
I trimmed it this morning.
The 2 eyebrows, huh? Well, I guess that's a personal victory on some level.
Can't do a beard. Eyebrows are naturally amazing. That's fair.
No shaping whatsoever. These are all me. Which I really don't know how I feel about that now that I've done that. Fair. Fuck it. All right. What the fuck were we talking? We were gonna go away.
We were talking about our season of whatever the fuck.
Patreon.
Whatever. Oh,
Patreon. So, all right. So where the hell can you find the link for this?
It will be in the show notes and everything on this show.
Eventually.
No, it'll be on this one, and then we'll put it up on the YouTube notes also. I'll give you the link to do that.
We'll have a link. The Patreon is solely to having a good time at Guardian Con next year. That's it. So it's going to help cover us or a little bit of expenses we're going to have. Ryan's got a lot more travel than me because I'm right down the road. But we're going to look into getting a booth where we could do some live broadcast, and then friends who show up who don't necessarily have the communities to sustain or justify getting their own booth. We're going to share it with them so they can do meet and greet times, meet their community. And it's a sharing
Rick
experience.
can fuck with them without having to wander around and find them. We're going to bring them to us.
It's a booth. Come here and get fucked with by a Destiny.
And I can also just leave
model.
the booth and fuck off, and the booth is still manned in there. It's beautiful. It's a double-edged sword.
You know how it's
a triple-edged sword.
There's a lot of festivals. Festivals they like kisses $1 or hugs $1 or whatever.
I'm not doing
insults.
That shit.
Insults $1.
Those are free.
I'm gonna set up a recording booth, and we're gonna pimp Rick out, and we're gonna have him go in there and do his man-at-arms voice, and people can pay money and bring him a script, and he will read and record the script there at Guardian Con and walk away with an audio file of whatever they want Man-at-Arms to say. That's what we're gonna do.
That's within you know what?
Within reason. I mean, you can't bring a fucking book, but yeah.
No, but here's the thing. You could take this another step. One, you could get USB sticks in bulk with the Destiny Unfiltered logo on them, and that's how you give them the file.
Oh yeah, that was already in the works.
All right, I drink a lot.
Ryan's way more organized on all this and ahead of me than I am, so yeah, all that sounds cool.
We're just gonna sell Rick's ass. That's what we're doing.
I mean, I've seen worse business ideas.
Take a fucking number. Get in line.
So that was the Patreon. So yes, we'll
get it
money.
We'll get it more. Yeah, we'll probably owe money. We'll get it more cohesive as it gets. We're starting it up.
Well, like I said, the Patreon is actually available now. I'll put the link in the description on the audio side, and then share it with the video side. Even though we're not that big on YouTube.
And if anybody would like to, I don't know, like make a tweet on our behalf, I could really use a sponsor for a new chair. Just throwing that out there.
And alcohol.
As well. But I digress. Oh, Jim, even though the people have heard your links many times, give them the links, sir. Tell them if people want more of the Grindzilla, where can they find you?
The easiest way to find me is going to be on Twitter at GrindheadJim. All my links are there. Twitch.tv/GrindheadJim. Or you can just go to grindheadjim.com/whatever you're looking for. Instagram, YouTube, you name it. That grindheadjim.com/whatever service you're thinking of. If I've got it, goes right there. I'm most active on Twitter and Twitch. I've been streaming Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays at noon. Wow, I'm looking at changing that schedule up at some point.
Your streams are a lot of fun. I lurk in your streams.
He's a serial lurker.
Oh yeah, I jump in a lot, but I don't usually like to comment in streams. I just kind of put them on in the background and, have them on. And your streams are a lot of fun. The tangents you go off on.
I, on the other hand, type incessantly. The balance.
Yes. And that's part of why I'm thinking of changing the schedule, because of the fact that success that I've had on Twitch has been in late afternoons and in late evenings, and I just haven't been streaming at those times. And I find that when I do dabble in that, it tends to work a lot better, but I'm so used to doing it a certain way, it's difficult to kind of change things up. And I'm looking forward to shaking things up a bit in the relatively near future when it comes to that. Hopefully it'll work out. Keep an eye on it. So, when in doubt, go to Twitter. You'll know everything.
Or you can just join us in a GIF war. That happens too.
So, Rick, before you go, I have to say, this is just a personal thing. There is nothing like, for me, because I have the horse farm, putting on a Grindhead stream while cleaning stalls. It is so much fun.
Okay, I have to.
I'm literally shoveling shit.
Why do those two things?
Because of the time of the day when I'm doing. It's shoveling shit. So yes, I'm shoveling shit while shoveling shit. But Listening to Jim shovel his shit while shoveling shit. No, it's the correlation is just the time of day when you're doing that is when I'm doing the stalls. So that's just, but there is nothing like it because it's the most tedious job in the world. It's not a job that anybody really wants to do, but you make that time go by so much faster, and it's much appreciated being a fan, if that makes sense.
Thanks, man.
So,
Appreciate that.
go ahead, Rick.
I'm not sure you can.
On the one hand, that
I'm
was
done.
a really nice sentiment to pass on.
I'm
to
done
everyone,
cupping his balls.
genuinely. And on the other hand, it involved horse manure. So
Same thing. Same
God
thing.
doesn't give with both hands, I guess. This is fine.
Yeah.
Oh, Ryan doesn't know this. We have an Instagram now.
Okay.
I don't know why. But we have
All the
one.
kids
There's
are doing
things
it?
on it. I guess. We have pictures. I threw them up there.
When I think Destiny Unfiltered podcast, I think unparalleled visuals.
Fuck.
No, I'm not doing any of that.
I'm just thinking
This will
Snapchat.
that'll probably fucking like spiral down into something really weird.
Honestly, I had a
Whatever.
marketing guy come in and give me some advice on that. And the way that it he was saying for Twitch streamers, and I've seen it happen a bunch of times, but I never made the correlation. But he's like, get a few good Twitch clips a week, load those to your Instagram, and that's how it works best for Twitch. Unless they're like, unless you want to do the social media thing. Well, here's what I'm doing right now. But he said for branding, for Twitch streams or video clips, whatever. You know, so like the whole thing. It's a thing where like, oh yeah, and then there was that one time the strippers blow, you know, just something like that. Like, what? I gotta go say that.
I mean, I probably don't want to like glorify that anymore.
No,
At least in
no,
my
I'm not
lifetime.
glorifying. None of us were glorifying any of it. We were just telling what happened. We didn't say it was good.
We didn't really say it was bad either. I mean,
Everything we said in this podcast was bad.
Everything we said on this thing, everything has been utter bullshit.
oh,
There was
fuck.
nothing I have said during this entire podcast, with the exception of my opinions about the gameplay of Destiny 2. There, now you're legally covered.
This is fine.
This is fine.
This has been the longest fucking sign off ever.
It doesn't matter. And no, it has not. We've literally signed off for an entire show once. Oh, if you want to find me, I'll be here, as always. Or you could look me up on Twitter, because I tweet incessantly, because it is a boredom filter.
It's a lot of gifts.
It's all the gifts. That's how I communicate. Some days I don't even use words. I just communicate through gifs. It's an art form. I take pride in it. You can find me at man_@_arms 2112. I also make YouTube things on occasion. Brian,
Sometimes.
if anybody wants to talk to you,
I'm under a bridge.
I
That's
mean,
it.
could you be more specific?
No,
'Cause
just a bridge. So, you know, I don't like giving out. I
Under a
don't.
bridge.
What's that? That's my address. Just put it on the envelope.
this is fine.
You know, I hate
shit.
giving out my, and promoting myself on this show. So
His Twitter's
If they want to
on
find you, where do they
RPC.
find you? They can't find me.
It's
That's
literally
the
at
answer.
on air
Never
PC and the
find
number
me.
1. So, but see, the downfall to that is a shared Twitter account. My wife also will use that, and sometimes what she does is like when we build PCs and we like to screw with people sometimes, and she does all of the screwing with people because she's way funnier than me. So sometimes you might be tweeting at her by mistake. So that's why I don't really like to do it.
So maybe it's best that they just at the Destiny Unfiltered Twitter, and then that message will get relayed to you.
Maybe, if I happen to check it.
Possible. It could happen.
So
Oh, then okay. So, what is next week? Next week is
You have
6th.
Yes, you have the schedule.
So next week we'll be having Average Joe from Project Guardians on. And we're going to drink Jello shots. Bet. Deadass.
Okay. Wow.
Three
Oh, they're
of
not
the
for me,
things
Jello
I
shot.
just said are true. Regardless, we're out of here.
I'm gonna go with
Jim.
the guest name, where they're from, and deadass. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say those. Are the
I'm voting for Jello shots. What the fuck? We were talking about strip clubs all night. It only fits.
yeah.
Jim, brother, as always, thank you so much, man.
It is always a pleasure to be
Oh,
here.
metal brother from another mother. In the great and sovereign state of Texas. No, we're not doing that. But shit. Ryan, anything else?
No,
Jim,
I'm
anything
good.
else? We're done. All right then, folks. We will see you next week, live and unfiltered.